Hi there, this is Mark Pfeiffer, and in today's presentation I'm going to go over how to use call options in the Cashflow 202 board game. I'm going to start with a broad overview of how call options work, and then we're going to get into a specific example of how a call option is used in the Cashflow board game, and then I'm going to leave you with an exercise to do to test your knowledge. So first thing is first. The first thing that you need to know is with a call option, there's a buyer, a seller, and then a physical asset in the transaction. So in this scenario, we're taking a property as the asset. The seller in this case is saying to the buyer, I will allow you to purchase my property for X price, let's say $100,000, over a certain period of time. It could be 5 years. And I'm willing to sell that to you for X amount of money. Could be $10,000 in this case. So the buyer in this case thinks, alright, I could buy this property for $100,000, and let's assume that today's market price of the property is $100,000, and I could buy that over the next 5 years, and I have to pay the seller $10,000 to do that. Well, you know what? I think the price of the property is going to go up. I think it's going to go up to $200,000 over those 5 years. So paying $10,000 now in order to pay $100,000 for this property that's going to be worth $200,000 in the future, it's a pretty good deal for me. So that's why the buyer is willing to pay the seller that amount of money for the contract. The seller, on the other hand, she's thinking, you know what, I don't think property prices are going to go up in my area. In fact, I think they may even actually go down. So why don't I make some extra money here and sell this contract for over 5 years, and you know what? I'm pretty happy with receiving $100,000 for my property over that time period. So yeah, I'm willing to get $10,000 today, cash, and sell that contract. So that's why the seller is willing to do it. She's willing to do it because she doesn't think the price of that property is going to appreciate more than $10,000 over the 5 years, or even if she does, she prefers to get $10,000 today to use it instead of later. So the asset could be anything. It could be vacant land, real estate. In this case, it's going to be stock in the game. So here's an example in the game. You can pull this card, OK for you call option. Pay $4 per share now in multiples of 100 shares, limit 5,000 shares total to buy OK for you at $10 per share when anyone draws an OK for you card. On the same turn, you may buy at $10 a share and sell at the other card's price. Calls expire at the end of your third following turn if not exercised. Okay, we're going to enter this into the Cashflow 202 board game worksheet. This is what it looks like. For options, you would put in your stock symbol, the number of shares, the cost per option, the total amount paid, the strike price, and then all these other data right here. So I'm going to open up, actually put this into an Excel format here, and we're going to go ahead and go through this exercise together. So the stock symbol is OK for you. Let's purchase 1,000 shares. The cost of the option per share, going back to that card, was $4 per share now. Total amount paid would be A times B, $4,000. That is known as the premium you're paying for that option. You're paying $4,000 now. Strike price, that was $10 a share. And then this, on this side, this will happen when you pull a new card with OK for you. So let's go into an example. In this example, you would not want to exercise the option. This card says OK for you, drug company goes broke. All shares are worthless. So today's price is $0. So if we were to put $0 in here, the price gain is D minus C, negative 10. So in this case, you would not exercise your option, because if you did, you'd be losing money. It wouldn't make sense to do that. So this example shows how the most that you can lose in this case when the stock's price went down is just the amount that you had paid for that option contract. So in this case, it would be the amount you receive would be 0. So your profit is going to be 0 minus your cost, or negative $4,000, basically the premium amount you paid. So in the next example, this is where you would want to exercise the option. Today's price is $50. So if you put 50 in for today's new price, the price gain is $40 a share, 50 minus 10. The amount that we would receive would be the 40 times the 1,000 shares, $40,000. And our profit then would be $40,000 minus the premium that we had paid, or in this case, $36,000. All right. Now, what happens when there's a stock split? In this case, the stock split is 2 for 1, and the after split price is $40 per share. What that means after split price of $40 per share, it means that the before split price was $80 per share. So a simple thing you can do here is just put today's new price as 80, and that would calculate your profit there. Conversely, what you could do is you could double the number of shares that you had, 2,000, and then halve the cost of the option per share to 2, and then your strike price would be halved to 5, and today's new price would be 40, and then you would make the same profit. So in this case, I'm zooming out a bit here, and in this chart down here, I did all the possibilities from today's new price from 0 to $50 to give you an idea of how your amount received would change. Now in this case, the amount received is going to be 0 when the stock's price, the new price, is 10 or less. That's just because you don't exercise the option. So this shows that how your downside is limited. And profit in this case is negative $4,000. That's just the cost of the option contract, the premium. So you see that your profit will be 0 when today's new price is $4, and that's because the gain that you're making, $4,000, gets canceled out by what you had paid, the $4,000 originally. So now I created a chart here that visualizes all this, and let me go and put this into our screen here. So here, this is to explain how profit works. Your payoff is the amount you receive, and your profit is your profit that you're getting. And you can see the profit is below payoff, and this is by a $4,000 amount because we have to include the premium that we paid. And this shows the premium that we paid is $4,000. It's the difference between payoff and profit, and that the strike price at $10, anything below that, less than $10 strike price of the new price of the share, our profit is going to be negative $4,000, and the amount received is going to be 0. And then after 10, we break even around $14 at $14 per share, and then profit just goes up. So in summary, what a call option allows you to do is control the asset. You don't actually own it until you actually exercise the option. And when you purchase a call option, you believe that the asset's price will rise during the period of that option, right? Because if it doesn't rise, then you're just not going to exercise the option contract. And there are 3 outcomes with an option. The price could go up of the asset, in which case you would exercise the option. The price of the asset could go down, in which case you wouldn't exercise the option, and your loss would just be the premium that you paid for the option. And the price of the asset could stay the same, in which case you would just lose. So here's the exercise that you guys can do to test your knowledge. The situation is okay for you call option card allows you to pay $2 per share now with a strike price of $25 per share that expires after the next 3 turns. You can buy, you decide to buy an option on 2,500 shares. Answer the following questions. What was the premium you had to pay for the 2,500 shares? What will your profit be if your option expires after 3 turns? What will your profit be if OK for You's price is $10 at the end of the 3rd turn? What will your profit be if OK for You's price is $40 at the end of the 3rd turn? And finally, at what price of OK for You do you break even? In other words, your profit is 0. The answer key for this will be in the description of this video below, so you can check your work after you complete the exercise. Have fun, guys.